You can't rely on blind faith to get the pregnancy support you deserve. Ritual's Essential Prenatal Multivitamin is the only leading prenatal backed by its own human clinical trial. Essential Prenatal is proven to deliver key nutrients, including folate, biotin, and vitamin D during pregnancy. Get 25% off when you visit ritual.com/clinical. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of True Crime Time for Monday, May the 19th, 2025, and I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cindy Overton.
And we're coming to bring you this news, the true crime news, and just news, crime news all the time, whatever you want.
If you snooze, you lose.
That's right. If you snooze, you're going to lose on the news. Hey, happy graduation to everybody that's graduating. We graduated our second oldest daughter and for our master's this weekend. And there was a cap and gown ceremony on Friday night.
Pudding.
Yeah, whatever. And so we understand it, but y'all be safe and be blessed. And, all the people graduating from high school and college and everything else. Youngsters coming up.
Congratulations to everybody.
Congrats to everybody.
A bunch of proud parents out there.
Exactly. Correct. Congrats to the parents for not killing your kids. I shouldn't even joke about that on this show.
No, because not what on the theme I've got for the day.
Yeah. So that being said, we love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for liking and listening and share us and leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast if you're so inclined, and ranking in the top 100 of all news, not just true crime podcasts in the world is amazing, and we appreciate it. And got a lot of stuff coming up, finishing Scorch this week, and the human trafficking series about to start, and a lot of other things. So, and I will be on the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office podcast with Sheriff Ard on Tuesday. I don't know what day it comes out, but we're recording it on Tuesday. So y'all just stick with us. The live show tickets, you go to any of our social media and get your tickets. They are, I think there's still some available. Look, that venue is beautiful, y'all. Southeastern Louisiana University campus. We were there this weekend. It's so changed from 25 years ago when I was a cop there. But it's really something special. So let's get down to it. You ready?
Yeah.
And this is for, what do we call Fun Day Monday? Right?
Sure. Fun Day Monday.
Best week ever starts now.
Yes.
All right. Lay it on us.
Okay.
Yeah, can I please? I got a couple things we really need to talk about. The one, our hearts go out to all the people that were affected by the storms in Kentucky and even Mississippi, and there's a lot of people dead. Did you see that?
I had no idea.
When Shane and them went home the other day, they had to go through it, and so I will tell you all about it real quick. And right through the heartland of America, right? And we believe it. We know about storms, but they said search and rescue efforts continue in Kentucky and Missouri after deadly tornado outbreak devastates communities. But I heard it even made it into Mississippi. But they said in London, Kentucky, recovery operations are underway, and first responders are continuing their heroic efforts to search for survivors among the countless piles of destroyed homes and businesses in Kentucky and Missouri. Days after the basically all just a bunch of tornadoes broke out across the states. In Kentucky, they suffered widespread damage, especially in London and Somerset. And the governor said at least 18 people were killed in his state. I know, right?
Gosh.
And so I'm sure there's, a lot more dead now. I think it was up to like 27 or something across all the states, and hearts and prayers go out to them, right? It's just horrible. Now, another thing I want to talk about real quickly, I don't want to talk about it, but we need to talk about it, is fucking piece of shit terrorists. And this time it looks like it's a domestic terrorist. So we're going to Palm Springs, California, and some asshole has blown up a bomb at the Palm Springs Reproductive Center. And they're calling it an intentional act of terrorism. And the FBI bomb techs are investigating. It was a car bomb, y'all, that they blew up in front of this fertility clinic on Saturday, which left one person dead and at least 4 other people injured. Thank God it wasn't a Monday, right?
Yeah.
But the blast, which the FBI's director, Akil Davis in Los Angeles, is calling an intentional act of terrorism, happened just before 11 a.m. at that American Reproductive Center's facility. And they said it was a targeted attack, definitely, and they're investigating it. It was an isolated incident. They're investigating it as an act of intentional or domestic terrorism. And they said it's probably one of the largest bombing investigations that they've ever had in Southern California, right? The Agent Davis did not immediately identify the person who died in the explosion or confirm if the person was the suspect, right?
Right.
But they said they are not actively out searching for a suspect. So hopefully this dude's burning in hell if it's a dude. But the Palm Springs Police Chief Andy Miles said debris extended across multiple blocks, describing it as a massive crime scene. Now, Jason Pack, who's a retired FBI agent and hostage negotiator, he told Fox News Digital that it could take days for authorities to search for evidence of explosives through several blocks of rubble. And to determine the type and quantity of devices used, investigators will need to examine the blast radius and structural impact to assess the power and direction of the explosion and search for chemical residues of known explosive materials such as ammonium nitrate, TATP, RDX, or PETN. They said that they're looking for fragments and shrapnel and device components to help reconstruct the method of detonation. That's in any bombing investigation. They said whether this was a single large device or multiple smaller ones, those answers will come. But they have to dig further than just looking at it by visual stuff. They got to really dig into it. Mm-hmm. So some of the posts on social media said terrorism came knocking on the door of Palm Springs. We survived, and I can tell you this city will rise and be more and effective as a beacon of hope than before. Now, that place we're talking about, the American Reproductive Center's fertility clinic, they said no staff members were harmed, and while the building was damaged, the IVF lab, including the eggs and embryos and reproductive materials, were spared. Thank goodness. Right. And then they said this morning, an unexpected and tragic incident occurred outside our Palm Springs facility when a vehicle exploded in the parking lot near our building. And in the face of this tragedy, we remain committed to creating hope because we believe that healing begins with community, compassion, and care. This moment has shaken us, but it has not stopped us. We will continue to serve with strength, love, and hope that brings new life into the world. Y'all, it's a shit show. If you go online and look at it, the destruction is pretty amazing. That's probably not the right word, but it's devastating, and it just destroyed blocks.
That's horrible.
It's crazy. I understand people have their views and everything, like, abortion or whatever. I remember back in the 90s when we had to do the cop shield lines in front of the abortion clinics and stuff like that. Yeah. Stop the protesters, and they had to put up fences and stuff. And, people, I get maybe on abortion, but why would you do it on a fertility clinic? What is the angle on that? I think there's
a religious, I'm not going to act like I know, but I think there is some type of religious beliefs behind using fertility too.
I don't know. I guess there is. I guess, I mean, there's beliefs about, you fly airplanes to the World Trade Center, you automatically go to Ally and get a mansion of gold and 99 virgins. I just guess I never heard of people who were trying to have babies.
And I'm not going to speak, but Real Housewives of New York has someone on their cast that went through fertility. She never told her parents. She's from England, and she is of, I want to say Indian descent, but I don't know exactly what. And she was so afraid because she can't get pregnant again without the use of fertility, and her mom lives with her now. So she was afraid to tell her mom this is what
they should be happy they got a baby.
And then she finally did tell her mom, and her mom was like, I'm just exactly how I wish I would have been there with you in that.
It just came and popped in my mind, Bayou Brandy, right? Mm-hmm. And now she's got millions of followers, y'all, on TikTok. When we started with her, she only had maybe 900,000. No, less than 100,000. Yeah. Now she's got millions, but she went through it. Yeah. And they, after multiple attempts, they were able to successfully have a baby.
Yeah.
I don't get that. And, hopefully this asshole blew himself up and not somebody else.
That's so sad. I mean, the struggle. I mean, I can't imagine struggling to get pregnant, wanting to, and feeling like you failed every time.
Well, what if your shit's in there and they blew it up?
Right. I know. That's what. Yeah. But they said it wasn't affected. So.
Yeah. Well, all right. Give us what you got.
So I'm going to take us to Victorville, California. And so in February, a 16-year-old runs into a local grocery store.
Right.
And she is telling the staff of abuse she and her 5 siblings are dealing with. And so someone at the grocery store reports this anonymously.
Okay.
So
I'm sure I wouldn't have to be anonymous. If a kid comes running in my store saying I've been abused, I'm calling 911 saying, come deal with this.
Well, she reported it, and it says that it was done anonymously. Right. So I would have, like you said, yes, been just like whatever. But the outcry sparked, of course, a full-blown investigation. Actually, are calling it a tip. I don't know if this is, a tip when the 16-year-old is going in and telling you what's happening. But the tip was passed along to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, specifically their crimes against children detail. And what deputies and social workers found inside that house led to felony torture.
What?
And charges to not just the girl's foster parents, but also their adult daughter, who's 23 years old.
Okay.
So Kenneth Michael Key and Tina Marie Sheffield Key both are 60 years old. And their 23-year-old daughter, Caitlin Marissa Key, were arrested on May 12th. All 3 were charged with 6 counts of felony torture and 1 count of felony child abuse. And they're being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $1 million bail each. But here's what investigators discovered inside the home. There's 6 children.
I can only imagine.
Foster children.
Oh, they're getting us checks.
Ranging in age from 4 to 16. And these poor kids endured what authorities describe as severe and prolonged abuse. And they said, we're talking about daily beatings, strangulation to the point of them passing out. They were choked to the point of losing consciousness. They were starved, denied water, locked in rooms, and had their clothing taken away. And this wasn't happening apparently behind the scenes. It was just all out in the open. It was happening in the neighborhood where people didn't seem to know, but nobody understands now how the people in the neighborhood didn't know, because or a school, there's marks on the kids, there's all of this stuff.
Hindsight's 2020.
Exactly. And they're saying some of the children had actually documented their abuse themselves using iPads and taking photos, and kept journals.
Good.
So according to the court documents and coverage from ABC7 in Los Angeles, those materials became obviously key evidence in the case. Investigators noted injuries in various stages of healing and described some of the abuse as involving prolonged physical pain and suffering, a necessary legal condition to charge torture under California law. It goes on to say that the charge of torture in California isn't often used. It's a serious felony and requires proving just not harm, but the intent to cause extreme suffering. So the district attorney's office didn't hesitate in this case. Prosecutors say that the abuse is systemic and deliberate, something that happened over time and with coordination between the adults in the home. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Crimes Against Children Division led the investigation with support from the Department of Children and Family Services. And when deputies first entered the house on February 13th, they reported that the conditions in the home were so concerning that the children were immediately removed. And like I alluded to at the beginning of this, neighbors have been shocked. One of the neighbors, Jose Martinez, says, "I never heard any bad noises. I would take out their trash and see the cans full of snacks, so I can't believe they didn't have any food or were being denied clothing. The kids seemed pretty normal." But of course, appearances can be deceiving. The case is already drawing comparisons to the infamous Turpin case, and that happened in 2018, where David and Louise Turpin were convicted of imprisoning and torturing their 13 children in Paris, California. All three defendants did not plea at the time of arraignment. And then more charges will be filed.
How much does the state of California pay you to foster a child?
Here's an answer from GardnerQuadSquad.com.
They get between $400 and $700 a month. So they had 6 kids.
Yeah.
6 times 7, $4,200. And that's tax free.
Yep. More charges will be filed as the investigation continues, of course, depending on what's uncovered in interviews and such. It's just horrible.
Well, it is horrible. And I always hate to see you cry, but I'll just shut up about it. And I wish summer's just around the corner and the folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting the summer bod is out and getting your savings bod is in. This spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank. I was paying way too much for wireless service and decided to give Mint Mobile a try. And I've been seriously impressed. The call quality is crystal clear, the data speeds are fast, and I'm saving hundreds of dollars. It's the easiest switch I ever made, and I didn't have to sacrifice a thing. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/RLRC. That's mintmobile.com/RLRC. Upfront payment of $45 for a 3-month, 5-gigabyte plan required. It's equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees are extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Hey, lifers, Woody Overton here, and I want to talk to y'all about something that's come up around our house more than once lately: hormones. Now, I can't speak from personal experience on this one, but I've seen it firsthand with Cindy. There were days she'd be feeling drained, overwhelmed, even a little off. We couldn't figure out why. She was eating right, taking care of herself, getting things done like always, but something just wasn't clicking. Turns out it wasn't just stress. It wasn't just being tired. She took this free 2-minute quiz from a company called Happy Mammoth, and it gave her some serious insight into what might be going on with her hormone levels. After answering just a few simple questions, she got personalized breakdown, and one of the main things it pointed out was that her body may be overloaded with estrogen. That's when we found Hormone Harmony. Happy Mammoth's plant-based herbal formula designed to support your hormone levels, stress response, and overall well-being. Since Cindy started taking Hormone Harmony, she said it's made a noticeable difference. Things like occasional bloating, low energy, and those mild mood dips, all less frequent. And it didn't take a huge lifestyle overhaul to see those changes. Just a small daily habit that fit right into her routine. Now listen, this isn't some one-size-fits-all deal. This quiz gives you personalized recommendations so you can understand what's going on in your body and what might help you feel better. Whether it's Hormone Harmony or one of their other hormone support products, you'll know exactly where to start. And here's the thing. Happy Mammoth has helped thousands of women. They have over 40,000 five-star reviews, and a bottle of Hormone Harmony sells every 24 seconds. That many folks can't be wrong. Ready to start feeling like yourself again? Head over to happymammoth.com and take their free 2-minute hormone quiz today to find the ultimate answer to your stubborn hormonal issues. And for a limited time, you can also get 15% off your entire first order with my code RLRC at checkout. That's HAPPYMAMMOTH.com and use the code RLRC for 15% off today. You know, I wish I could be president and have like autonomous power, because I would change all the criminal justice laws strictly to you get convicted. We will, instead of building prisons, we just reenact what you did.
Yeah.
And just kill you at the end of it.
Exactly.
So, with that being said, let's go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin and our favorite girl over the years, Taylor Schabusiness.
I love her so much.
She is back in the headlines again. This is a fucking hemorrhoid that just won't go away.
What she do now?
This motherfucker, I've never heard of this. Now, if you don't know who Taylor Schabusiness is, she's a woman who was having sex with some dude. They were doing meth, and she decided that she wanted to kill him. And she cut off his head. Or after she killed him, she raped him with numerous objects, and then she cut off his head and limbs, et cetera, and his dick, and left that in a bucket for his mama to find and everything else. So she got convicted on that, but the gift that keeps on giving. She has been on international news several times in the courthouse. She has now attacked not one, but two of her attorneys. I'm talking about like in court, standing there, cameras on her, and she beats her ass. I'm not done yet. Let me tell my story. I'll give you some highlights on it. She first fired her appellate attorney, this is after conviction, attorney Greg Pettit, and she's missed the deadline to file her formal appeal after her 2023 murder conviction, which means usually all, like in Louisiana, they give you a year. And I know some dumbasses that have done it. And one of my soon to come out original life real crime, we're going to talk about a girl that got convicted of murder. And, you're sitting in fucking prison. You got a year to file your appeal. You didn't do anything else. Why can't you get it done? So anyway, she missed it, and she fired her appellate attorney on that. Now, before that, she had two previous public defenders who both asked withdrawal as counsel after Schabusiness beat their ass in court.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. And I'm not going to take a whole lot longer on it, but what happened now is the public defender for the state of Wisconsin, because she's indigent, right? They have said they ain't fucking representing her ever again, ever. And that's the first time I've ever had. I don't even know if that's legal. How does a public defender say, fuck it, that bitch is so bad, we're not messing with her? So anyway, again, she's serving a life sentence for the murder of Shad Theron, whom she garroted, which is the wire around the neck, and beheaded before dismembering his body and scattering his remains. Now, again, she's also facing criminal charges currently for beating the shit out of a prison nurse with a metal tray.
Goodness.
Yeah. So on this case, she decides, I told you, to remove that public defender, and now she doesn't have a lawyer. And the Office of the Wisconsin State Public Defender said they will no longer provide her with legal counsel. That's it. Fuck you. We're done. So all the serial killers, every bad motherfucker you ever heard of, you never heard a public defender say, fuck it, I quit. And now her appellate attorney has become the fourth public defender to withdraw from one of her 3 cases. So the first guy, Quinn Jolly, and she whipped his ass and he withdrew as her attorney. And then Curtis Julka, who's the guy that was representing her on the beating the shit out of the nurse in the prison with metal tray. She attacked him in the courtroom. And then Christopher Froelich, who replaced Jolly after he stepped down, withdrew a few months after Shabusiness' conviction and was replaced by Greg Pettit. So, and then Shabusiness, being the genius that she is, fires Pettit, and after he files a report, it's called a no merit report, which said that his client's conviction came after a fair investigation and trial. Her own appellate attorney's like, fuck it, you got nothing to appeal, bitch.
Right.
You did it, you cut him up and whatever, and it just goes on and on. So I don't know what's going to happen with old Shabusiness. Maybe she's going to represent herself. Yeah, I would really be interested in seeing that in person. But it was funny though. Pretty funny that one of the last attacks, that when she does in the courtroom, it's on the cameras, you hear the sheriff's deputies calling her by her name. Yeah, the first name basis. You're such a bad bitch.
Yeah.
So there you go. Shabusiness is rocking it up in Wisconsin still.
How far away is she from Toma?
It's not that far, about 2 hours.
Maybe you should go have a sit down with her.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe you shouldn't. She might attack you. Okay, so I'm going to take us, I don't know if this is far enough back for me to say all the way, but we're going all the way back to 2001. Does that justify as way back?
Not in my mind.
Well, in May of 2001, a 50-year-old woman named Leslie Jennings Preer was found beaten and strangled in Chevy Chase, Maryland.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume she's dead.
Yes. And her daughter, Lauren, is the one that discovered her body after Leslie failed to show up for work. So for 23 years, the case remained unsolved. I guess you can guess where this is going.
Hopefully they solved it.
The one that was being heavily looked at during the time was who you typically is the spouse, like you always say. And that was also the daughter that found Leslie. Is her, the husband and wife were married. Yeah, they were still an intact family. So they were accusing her father of doing it, but he was never charged. But in June of 24, a breakthrough came, of course, as we all know, in DNA evidence that led to the arrest of Eugene Teodor, Teodor. Not like,
is that the husband?
No, Gligor. He was Lauren's ex-boyfriend during her teenage years.
Really?
Yes. So Gligor, Gligor, he's now 45, and he had been, like I said, Lauren's ex-boyfriend when they were teenagers, and he now lives in Washington, D.C., worked in real estate, and had no criminal record. But the case was solved using advanced forensic techniques, including familiar DNA, genealogical mapping, marking the first time that Maryland police had used familiar DNA to solve a case. And they found Gligor's DNA throughout the crime scene, including under Leslie's fingernails. And they identified a distant relative in Romania and reconstructed the family tree, leading them to Gligor. And he was arrested by the U.S. Marshals Task Force in Washington, D.C., and charged with first-degree murder. And Lauren expressed extreme disbelief upon learning the identity of her mother's killer, stating, "It's been a hell of a day. He was my boyfriend." And she never suspected him.
So it wasn't the mama's boyfriend from high school. It was the daughter's boyfriend.
Daughter's boyfriend.
Maybe he had a thing from mom. Huh?
And she said that she never suspected Gligor, despite having encountered him in public just a year before his arrest. And the motive for the killing remains unknown, and prosecutors do not believe it was premeditated. So he pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and is awaiting sentencing in August of 2025, but he faces up to 30 years in prison.
Love, love, love justice, even if it's delayed sometimes, right?
Yep.
And y'all, Miss Barbara Blunt's case, please continue to call in your tips. And justice for Haley. We know that the district attorney is working on the case actively now. We will give you an update as soon as they reach back out to Miss Barbara, so we don't waste an episode on that. But the call in your tips on Miss Barbara Blunt's, nothing is too small. And the only thing is there is no DNA, and technically no crime scene, but call it in. And that dude had 23 Christmases and was selling real estate, doing all that. And he murdered his high school sweetheart's mama. Fuck him. It's time for beast mode. Then we'll take it on a different level here, and might be pushing the limits of a crime, but I guess it is a crime one way or another. Let's go out to Nevada, and as a veterinarian, and this has gone viral, and I'm sure everybody in the world's seen it. Dr. Sean Frainer's body, which was identified through dental records. Now, anytime you got to identify a body through dental records, you know someone got fucked up, that you got burned, or you've been at,
mutilated,
right, or buried, and a skeleton or whatever, right? But old Dr. Sean, they identified him through dental records, and he was found near the Boulder Islands outside Las Vegas on April 18th. Now, y'all have been to Vegas like 1,000 times and know not just to gamble, for work and stuff. And Boulder Islands, it's nothing but fucking desert.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it must be one of those.
Is that what you see when we're flying in?
I guess so. I don't know. I have to check on that. So, but do you think there's a criminal in this story?
Well, obviously it's an animal.
Right. Oh, because it's beast mode. You're a genius. So, well, there is a crime in this story.
Okay.
And maybe a little bit of beast mode justice. So the cause of death for the Nevada veterinarian, well, it's been viral on social media, but what went viral was he treats horses and shit, big animal veterinarian, right? And you know what he was seen on video doing?
Oh gosh.
It's not that bad. Well, okay. I mean, it's bad, but it's not, he wasn't raping a horse.
Okay.
But he was seen kicking a horse.
Why would you do that?
Well, hey, you're a fucking vet.
Why would you do that?
So he's seen kicking a horse in a video that went viral on social media. Now, but the law enforcement discovered the body, Dr. Sean, like I told you, of Boulder Islands at Lake Mead. So that's what it is, near Las Vegas, and it's according to all the different TV stations out there. And they said that his confirmed cause of death is drowning with phenobarbital use as a contributing factor, right? What the fuck? And that's according to the Clark County's Office and Coroner Medical Examiner. And his manner of death is listed as suicide. Can you believe that? Right. So according to the National Library of Medicine, phenobarbital sodium is a common animal euthanasia drug in the United States and Canada. I would mean maybe he was wanting to do some ketamine and grab the wrong bottle or something.
No, he probably did it on purpose. It's tailored to my brother.
I understand what it is. What I'm saying is maybe he was getting high on his own supply of ketamine, which is a horse tranquilizer, and he grabbed the shit that they use to euthanize animals instead. But anyway, he was reported missing nearly 2 weeks before he was found dead. And the National Park Service has been leading an expansive search for him in the Lake Mead National Recreation Area. So his wallet, keys, and cell phone have been found in his unoccupied truck, which left near Lake Mead. Now, his disappearance came just days after he was seen kicking a horse in a viral video that spread across social media. And on April 3rd, he was called to administer anesthetic shots for horses at a property located about 60 miles west of Vegas. And this according to Shauna Gonzalez, who's the property owner. He said, "I heard my mom yell, 'Oh my God, he just kicked him,'" Gonzalez said. "Oh my God, Mom, he's choking," she added. "He wrapped the horse around his neck 3 times and kicked him in the head."
Wow.
Right? So he just didn't kick the motherfucker in the leg. He kicked him in the head. Now, he kind of high-flying kung fu motherfucker, you're going to kick the horse in the head. But Gonzalez said the horse was treated for abrasions to the skull and other injuries. She then pushed for animal cruelty charges, which led to the Nye County Sheriff's Office to open a criminal investigation against Freiner. So his response to the allegations on social media, insisting, "I did not blatantly haul off and kick this horse as it happens to appear in the video. That was not my intention at all." Well, guess what, motherfucker? The video doesn't lie. But he continues. He said, "It was done simply to get the horse in a better position so that he could breathe and get up and move so that I could again try to get him anesthesia." Gonzalez said in a text to the outlet, she was sorry to hear about Fred's death, the horse owner. "I had no idea this would happen," she wrote, "but I was not the one bullying. I'm not sorry for standing up for my horse. I am their voice and continue to be so." So doctor, I mean, you kick a fucking horse in the head and it's on video, people are going to respond. And a couple of days later, he couldn't handle it, I guess.
I guess not. I just looked up a phenobarbital overdose. So it can't happen. I mean, I don't know if you want to read it.
I don't need to read it. I know that that's what they use to put cats and dogs and other things to sleep in a massive dose to give them their gentle good night. So with speculation, they're calling it suicide. I would assume it is suicide. Maybe he went to his favorite place out by Lake Mead, the Boulder, whatever, and did a little more kung fu before he shot himself up. I would have to think the horse is on the ground.
There's no way he
could. I could jump up out of his chair and kick a horse in the teeth if I want to.
No, you couldn't.
You're right. I couldn't. I could see it on my mind's eye there. Mr. Ed. You know how they made Mr. Ed talk? The horse, you know what I'm talking about? A horse is a horse, of course.
I know.
Listen to me. His mouth always moved. You know how they did it?
Gave him a carrot.
No, they put peanut butter inside his gums.
Oh,
and they would film him getting all and then they would put the words in over that. That's some useless shit only Woody Overton would know. Huh?
We're going to go to New York.
New York City or just New York?
New York State, Suffolk County.
Suffolk County, folks.
And there's a 40-year-old man named Brian Warr, and he's a former custodian of the Lindenhurst Union Free School District.
All right. Custodian meaning like a janitor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's been indicted on 113 felony charges.
Damn.
Yeah. So the charges included multiple counts of sexual abuse, use of a child in a sexual performance, and possession and promotion of child sexual performance material.
Great.
The indictment follows an investigation that began on April 30th of this year after a tip about child abuse content uploaded to Google led authorities to Warr. Upon executing a search warrant at Warr's residence, investigators discovered videos and images on his phone depicting him sexually abusing a child. And Suffolk County District Attorney Raymond A. Tierney stated, beyond the horrific trauma of the sexual abuse itself, this defendant recorded these despicable acts and distributed the material to others. Each view and share re-victimizes the child. That's his quote. Warr has not been employed by the school district since January of 2021, and he pleaded not guilty to all charges. He's being held on a $5 million bond, and his next court appearance is scheduled for June 20th. Authorities are urging anyone with information to contact the Suffolk County Digital Forensics Unit. And I don't have the whole phone number, or I would give it to you. But because they need obviously as much more information as possible.
100+ counts. What a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And actually it's time for effed up professionals. You have one job: to clean and maintain, not to use your position to rape babies, right?
Correct.
I don't understand, but y'all, you know what? I am sitting here. I'm not bullshitting you. This is one of two studios, and I'm sitting here, looking at a big ass snake skin.
Shit. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Snake skin. Let me finish. Snake skin on the floor, which was shed from the snake, which is probably still inside this room alive. It's not like the snake died and his head and his bones are on it. It is the snake skin where they shed it off or molted, as some people call it, a couple times a year, I think, or once a year. I don't know. But so it gets me thinking, and cutting the grass this week, seeing snakes. I got to do a little bit of fishing in Wisconsin, was in town. Saw several snakes. It is the time of year. It's like 92 degrees here today. And you know what? Our places are in the country, and you're going to have snakes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way that it is. But those boys from Wisconsin down here, I told them, motherfuckers, every time you put your foot down, look where you're stepping, because there are snakes. And the cottonmouth, or the water moccasins we have, will not back down. They will actually, probably the only snake in the world that will actively engage you and chase your ass. So why am I telling you this? This truly isn't a crime, but it's a little public service announcement. 9,034,000, right? But we'll put it under. It's time for beast mode. Now, we do a lot of gardening and grass cutting and all that's, fishing and stuff like that. And it's just, you expect, you live in the country, you're going to see snakes. My mama is terrified of them, right? Mm. And this is not the first skin we found, the shed we found, right? Hot sleepers, listen up. This one's for you. You probably know Avocado Green mattresses for their certified organic mattresses, but did you know they also make unbelievably breathable natural bedding? From soft organic cotton sheets to light as air as silk and lofty down duvets. Their bedding is designed to naturally regulate temperature and to keep you cool and comfy and sleeping soundly all night. Hey, and let's be real. When you're swapping out jeans for shorts and turning up the AC, it's probably time to refresh your bed too, because we sleep better when we sleep cool, and nothing sleeps cooler than natural organic bedding. What I love about Avocado's bedding is how breathable and temperature regulating it is. Whether you're wrapped up in that organic cotton sheet or under their down or silk duvet inserts, you're staying cool, dry, and comfortable all night. No more waking up in a sweat. Plus the feel, the total luxury. These are the kind of sheets you look forward to climbing into. Their cotton is soft from night one and gets even better with every wash. And don't get me started on the down duvet. It's like sleeping under a perfectly cool cloud. And of course, everything is made with sustainability in mind, from GOTS certified organic cotton to responsible down standard certification. So you're not just investing in a better night's sleep. You're supporting ethical, eco-conscious practices, better for you, better for the planet. Head to avocadomattress.com today to save 10% on all bedding and 50% on clearance bedding. Avocado is the dream of being better. Did you know there's an online cannabis company that ships federally legal THC right to your door? And they found a way to combine THC with carefully selected functional ingredients to target nearly every mood and health concern you can think of. I'm talking about Mood.com's incredible line of functional gummies. And you can get 20% off your first order at Mood.com with promo code RLRC. Forget one-size-fits-all supplements that only get you high. Mood's functional gummies are optimized to kick in as little as 15 minutes and take you to the mood that you're looking for. Whether that's Mind Magic gummies for deep work and creativity, PMS support to ease cramps and balance mood swings, or their sexual euphoria gummies to help you feel ready for action and turn every touch into a full body experience. Look, y'all, you know I have trouble sleeping. I take the Sleepy Time gummy. I take a quarter of one before I go to sleep, and I sleep hard all night long. Never even move, wake up feeling fresh as a daisy. So listen, you can find gummies to just get you high pretty much anywhere these days. But Mood's functional gummies combine premium federal legal THC with targeted botanicals to help you get into that perfect mood, usually in as little as 15 minutes. And everything ships discreetly right to your door. No dispensary lines, no awkward conversations, just better days and nights delivered to your doorstep. Best of all, not only is every Mood product backed by a 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with code RLRC. So head to Mood.com, find the functional gummy that matches exactly what you're looking for, and let Mood help you discover your perfect mood. And don't forget to use promo code RLRC when you check out to save 20% on your first order.
No, there was another one in the corner the other day.
Right. So yes, the snakes, they like shit. But if you're a gardener and you're outside and you live in the country and shit, you expect that that's just part of life. Well, I'm going to tell you about a lady who's my age. She's 55. Her name is Tracy Goodman, and we're going to Alpine, California. Well, Miss Tracy Goodman, I'll make it short for y'all because my public service. Tracy Goodman was gardening in her front yard in Alpine, California on May the 9th when a rattlesnake bit her.
Oh my.
All right. So I don't know how you got video footage of this. Video footage showed the 55-year-old walking around and shaking her arms after the incident. So what?
Maybe a Ring camera.
Oh, I just got an alert from Miss Barbara. Hold on. DA called me personally, and on a Sunday, she sent out emails to everyone to find out what's going on. All right, y'all. So she gets snake bit. She hauls ass to the hospital, and you know why? Besides the obvious, she was snake bit. Her skin started turning yellow, and her body started to spasm. And so she was rushed to the intensive care after the rattlesnake bit the shit out of her. And she said, I was putting weeds in my bucket and I felt this really sharp bite. Okay, what happens? And capturing the moment the bite happened, video footage shared by ABC 10 showed Goodman shouting, "Ow!" before the rest of her words were bleeped out. Motherfucker, baby, motherfucking snake, motherfucker. So we'll put him in there for you, Tracy. So I don't know where the camera came, maybe it was a Ring cam. She then walked around her yard shaking her arms, which is another no-no. But she's screaming for her neighbors for help, and they called 911, and her condition began to worsen. She said, I noticed my arms and veins were turning neon yellow and my mouth and tongue were swollen. My lips, it sounds like a Christmas story. My lips were twitching, then my eyes and head started twitching. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were fucked up.
Yeah.
And they said the doctors were shocked. They had never seen videos of it. So then all of a sudden, there was a huge wave. My entire body started to spasm head to toe.
That's scary.
It is. That's fucked up. So the doctors doing what docs do. They gave her not one, but 2 anti-venom doses. Thank God they had that on hand and she got to the hospital. And ultimately she was released from the hospital after being in ICU for 2 days. And she says, what I shouldn't have done is go in circles, which can increase venom to your heart faster. She also said that she plans to start wearing leather gloves when she's working in the yard and would use a stick to check for venomous creatures first.
Well, at least she learned a lesson.
At least she's alive.
Well, yeah.
First of all, she's alive. So the public service announcement is, I don't imagine it applies to anybody living in New York City or Los Angeles, whatever, but snakes are snakes and they do what they do. Now, the snake that's living in this studio is here because it's cool and it's dark and it's just a nice place to be. and don't want to be out fucking around. It's got no birds trying to get it, no eagles trying to scoop down on it, or hawks or whatever. It is protected. I'm looking at my feet now. Stay safe. Watch out for snakes, especially this time of the year, y'all. When it's warming up, they're out and about, dropping their skins, shedding their skins, trying to find shit to eat. Don't let it be you.
No.
Because we love you. You got anything else?
Mm-mm.
All right. So now, what I really don't want to talk about again, but we're going to do it because I promise y'all, there were like 26 different stories today just on P. Diddy. But we're going to know that the trial continues, as you know, because it's everywhere in the world. And Cassie keeps testifying. The male prostitute has testified. Look, they've talked to, everybody. Of course, the defense is tearing Cassie up, trying to say, she's money grubbing and all that. Well, I'm pretty sure he fucking groomed the shit out of her and then started doing it. I mean, it's not like you're just going to bring a girl the first day and say, hey, let's do a freak off. Maybe, but I doubt it. And so for the haters that say that, let the jury be the judge. And that's how it should be. But it just goes on, and who's going to testify. And they tell you everything from what their mother's, uncle's, plumber's brother had for breakfast to how Cassie Ventura's testimony can help prosecution prove claims that Diddy was a sex trafficker to whatever. And it just goes on. What to know about the 12 jurors who are deciding the fate. I'm just going to read y'all some of them. It's just stupid. Cassie is pregnant in court, and prosecutors allege that Diddy's lawyers are stalling for a mistrial as she gives birth.
Oh my!
I mean, come on, man. This just won't go away. And Cassie's heartbreaking text to Diddy's days after the hotel beating is read aloud in court. Cassie threatened to kill a man who said he had a video freak off. You are fucking with my life. Breakup text between Diddy and Cassie. Needed you to love me. These are all separate news stories, y'all. During Cassie's testimony, her husband had to leave the courtroom. Here's why. I mean, if you want to interested in it, go read it. Here's what Diddy allegedly did when he was found out Cassie was dating an NFL player. Who gives a fuck? Days after brutally assaulting Cassie at LA's hotel, here's the shocking text Diddy sent her. Another one. Does Cassie hate Diddy?
Jeez.
I mean, get the fuck out of here. Here's another one. Justin Bieber breaks silence on whether he was among Diddy's victims amid rapper's sex trafficking trial, right? Another one. Diddy's trial day 5, full recap. Cassie wraps up her blockbuster testimony. Another one. Cassie Ventura breaks down in tears when asked about freaks offs and shares powerful words. Another one. Cassie's husband speaks out after listening to 4 days of disturbing testimony about his wife. Another one. Diddy took Cassie's phone when he suspected her dancing with Chris Brown.
Oh.
Yeah, right? This is, they are literally digging for anything in the world. Another one. Basically, I was a sex worker, Cassie claims during the video. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to read y'all the headlines on these just so I don't have to read y'all the story. Aubrey O'Day says, Sean Diddy Combs' trial is bittersweet. I've been speaking the truth about Diddy for 20 years. I don't even know who that is. Don't care.
TikToks, yeah.
And all right, I'm going to get off of that. So Diddy, y'all, if they ever come up with something more significant, we'll tell you about it. All right. I want to give, not a public service announcement, but how about a hiring announcement? Because we're going to New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay.
All right. And they got some people who are now going to be unemployed. You know why?
No.
You hadn't heard this? It's like been the hottest shit of social media and everywhere. And I've been inside this place and it is a shithole. At one time it was rated the worst central lockup in the United States of America for Katrina. But we go to New Orleans, as we say down here. And, they got a whole bunch of MFers locked up in New Orleans Parish Prison or Jefferson Parish Prison, whatever you want to call it. And, you got to be watching the prisoners, right?
I think that's the job.
Well, on Friday, May the 16th at 8:30 a.m., they went to do a routine head count, which most people don't know that, but they count you every hour in prison. Some of them are formal counts. Some of them are just bullshit counts, right? Mm-hmm. And you want to make sure the count is correct. Because if it's not, what does that mean?
You got someone missing or you got an extra.
You're right. So the count was off at 8:30 a.m. that morning. Guess by how many?
3.
9.
Jeez Louise.
9 inmates, including accused murderers, are on the loose after escaping New Orleans jail. And at the press conference on Friday, May 16th, Orleans Parish Sheriff Susan Huston said the men escaped from the Orleans Parish Justice Center around 1 a.m. early Friday morning. Now, 1 a.m. to 8:30 a.m.
That's a lot of time.
Okay, but when I tell you how I escaped, it's really going to fuck you up. So that is a long time. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of counts and a lot of rounds supposed to be made between them.
Yeah.
So the sheriff says, we do acknowledge there is no way people can get out of this facility without there being some type of lapse in security.
Or help from the inside.
Lapse in security.
Yeah.
There's no way. It's almost impossible. Not completely, but almost impossible for anybody to get out of this facility without help from the outside. We intend to find out exactly what happened. Now, Hudson said the inmates were able to escape because of the defective locks on their cells and then breached a wall behind a toilet. So get this. Maybe 2 inmates to a cell.
Yeah.
Maybe 1, depending on security levels. But not only were they able to break out of the fucking prison, they had to break out their own cells to get to this one cell where the dude did like on Shawshank Redemption and carved a fucking hole in his wall behind his toilet. Mm-hmm. Now, that takes a minute. It's not like the motherfucker had a chainsaw and an angle grinder in there cutting a hole out and it's hollering for, hey, everybody come and do it.
Yeah.
But they said based on video surveillance, they were seen exiting a door on the docks where we normally bring in supplies. Then they were scaling the wall and running across the interstate, the sheriff said. Shortly thereafter, we have indication that these detainees received assistance in their escape from individuals outside our department. No shit, Sherlock. If I'm in prison, I'm going to escape and I can call somebody to plan it. It means it's all been planned for a long time. Now, jail officials realized the men escaped during a routine head count at 8:30 a.m. on Friday. Look at this picture.
Damn.
Right? That's the hole in the wall.
What about cell inspections?
That's what I'm saying. They didn't do it.
But I'm saying like complete.
No, they didn't do it. All they had to do was move this. So y'all in cells, the toilet and your sink is one piece of metal. Every cell I've been in is one piece of metal that's bolted to the wall, right? And you got a pipe behind that. In this cell, that behind it, there's a significant size hole that a big dude could get through. And anyway, check out the photos online. So the photos released by the sheriff's office showed a large hole cut behind the toilet and with "We Innocent" and "Too Easy LL" written above it.
That's true.
We innocent.
Well, the innocent part, no, but
so "We Innocent" and "Too Easy LL."
Easy, yeah.
Can you believe that? That's like adding in insult to injury. But anyway, one of the escapees, who's Kendall Miles, was recaptured and pretty much real quick. He must not had a ride and was rebooked into jail on a new charge, simple escape. Now, deputies found him hiding beneath the car in the parking garage of the Hotel Monteleone, one of our favorite places.
That's scary.
That's the hotel, y'all, in New Orleans, what has the revolving bar. All right. Still, my grandparents used to blow it up back there in the day. But still loose at this time are Anton Massey, Linton Van Buren, Leo Tate, Derek Groves, Jermaine Donald, Corey Board, Gary Price, Robert Moody, and DeKinnon Dennis. But Boyd, Donald, and Groves are facing murder charges.
That's scary.
The sheriff says, we're still gathering information. We're investigating our own to find out exactly what happened and where the lapses were. Of course, now, that's why I'm telling you, if you would like to become a correctional officer and you're in the city of New Orleans, go to Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office, which most people don't know. Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office used to be, and it may have changed it by now. They don't have a criminal side. Most sheriff's offices in the state of Louisiana, you have the criminal side and you have the correction side, right? And the sheriff's also responsible for maintaining security in the courtrooms and shit like that. The Orleans Parish, the NOPD handles all the criminal side, and the Orleans Parish just houses motherfuckers and serves civil papers.
Okay.
You basically had one job. And there's a whole lot of people about to be unemployed. So if you want to become a correctional officer, or it used to be OPP, Orleans Parish Prison, they call it something else now because of the negative connotations, go down there and apply and see Sheriff Hudson and tell her real life, real crime, true crime, time for sent you. And I got nothing else for today, and I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cindy Overton.
We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.